is not supposed to act stupid like this. They just exist. They don't live. It just goes on and on and on and on and on for the entire book. That is her concern. That is the reason she wants to become a vampire. New Moon by Stephanie Meyer, book 2 in the Twilight series. I hate the beginning. And I'm not even starting at the negative points here. It just goes deep and deep into how much I hate it. The first chapter, I would say, is told to us that she is dreaming. I mean, rather than shown. She's dreaming that she is now a grandma, and beside her, Edward is young as ever, 17, sweet 17. And this one thing of aging, this one thing is the reason that she wants to become a vampire. That's it. And to live with Edward forever is another. Why would Bella do this? I mean, age and to become a grandma. That is her concern. That is the reason she wants to become a vampire. I mean, no. Just look at Vampire Diaries. Why people are becoming vampires? Just look at it. It's so much more mature, so much more nice. But then, as the first video, as I said, that this couple, Bella and Edward, never had a fight. Well, they have a fight in this book. And their fight is not a fight, it's a breakup. And when that happens, I feel, okay, this relationship has progressed. Bella is not able to cope with it. And just not able to cope is a very simplified version of saying of whatever she does to all the lengths that she goes in this book. The end where they break up. And I would say Bella, being a teenager, acts like a teenager for the entire book. And she goes very close to her best friend called Jacob, about whom we get to learn so much more in this book. And their relationship dynamic is so much better than Bella and Edward's. I would still say that this book would really, because of this whole triangle, many people support for Jacob and Bella, but I would say that is the second best answer for me. For first, I would just not pair Bella with any because I do not like her. Okay. Talking about this story, Bella does not have a very good way of handling a breakup, and that does not end there. She hallucinates Edward all the time, and the more closer she goes to Jacob is just to take her out of the memories of Edward, to just make her feel better. But deep down, in the book version, Bella always loves Edward, and I don't know why she's friend zoning Jacob, and there's so much more chemistry. There's so much more. I do not like the dominating nature of Jacob when he forcefully tries to kiss Bella, but apart from that, I would say Jacob is a very good candidate. Like, to really stand through the triangle and be a winner, because Edward does not do much to show or keep the love between him and Bella alive. They just exist. They don't live, survive, they don't thrive in their relationship. They're just static. And I don't like that. Someone from the past book appears again. So the villain, James, Laurent, Victoria, those three, Laurent appears in this book. Okay, so Laurent appears and he's just being a very good friend to them, I guess. But the concept of vampire coexisting with werewolves. Boy, does Bella jump off a cliff, and Edward thinks she's dead. And Edward goes to suicide. To the Volturi, or Volterra, whatever you like to call it, and in Italy. And this is just such a stupid decision from Edward. And I'm not saying that I'm emotionless. I'm just saying that Edward is a 100-plus-year-old vampire, okay? He is not supposed to act stupid like this. Like, okay, just one person whom I don't even know why I was in love with is just dead now, and I have no way to confirm because I called and just Jacob answered. I could just physically go there, but no, I'm not in the mood for it, and I will just go to kill myself. And yeah, I don't have any other life. I have no one else to be with. And he just gives up on life, which is not what you want in real life. So this book does nothing to teach you of how to tackle with a breakup, because Bella is crumbling on the forest floor, just unaware of what she's doing. I mean, I understand panic attacks. I understand every bodily emotion that she is not able to handle, but it just goes on and on and on and on and on for the entire book. The same happens to Edward, and they break up just because it is not safe for Bella, which she actually was there for one whole book, right? And now you just all of a sudden come and say it's not safe for Bella to be around vampires, so just remove her out of the picture. And even then, she's not safe because a vampire does show up after that, when there's only Jacob's gang to save. She's just crying for help all the time. Why is this girl not showing any signs of being a good female character, of portraying hobbies? Leave that aside. Book reading is her hobby, she says in book 4. which I'll come to in the next videos. But she says book reading is her hobby. And I do not see her reading books after the first book or second book because, man, it's an era and she's over it very quickly. I would say this book, comparatively, because we had so much of Jacob, was okay. But apart from that, it's the decisions that the people take, especially Bella and then Edward, and it's just beyond me. And even in this book and the first book, I just forgot to mention, in the first book, I would say it is never, ever disclosed to us why Bella has the superior ability to block out Edward's ability to read thoughts. Like Edward is not able to read Bella's thoughts. Why? Never explained. Never. It's just a big plot hole. And I would say you should give good reason because in book 4 we get explanation for everything that Bella is able to block right now. A little movie and book comparison between New Moon. I would say Taylor Lautner had to do a lot of physical changes to become the werewolf that he had to be shown in the book or in the movie per se, and that transformation is so good for him because we get to see him as a completely different person compared to the one we saw in book 1. And Robert Pattinson also had to appear shirtless in this book. In the movie, was the reason why this book was so hyped up because, like, oh, you're getting to see a person's physical appearance of how they have been maintaining themselves, and he's a vampire, so he needs to be very fair. And they wanted his skin to shine in the sun, so they applied all the makeup of diamond and everything in it on his body. And the chase scene was interesting because you didn't know what will happen, but the thing that this book ended happily after just yeah, it's all gonna be a piece of cake. At the end, they're gonna be together. It's not how I like a story. I mean, if you have a 4 book series, at least just show one a bittersweet or one that does not end on a happy ending. Like there needs to be some. Obviously, there needs to be some resolution. But the fact that there's always a happy ending, they always end up together, is just beyond me because they just had a fight for no reason, and they get back together just the same way for no reason. They're inseparable. We don't know why. Their love developed over time in the first book, and it was never challenged. Like they are static. This book overall did an okayish job. The first book, at least, we had a bit of introduction to the characters, to the world. But this, compared to the vampire attack and the werewolf saving Bella, and Bella just being Bella and not saving herself or just not doing anything per se, because Edward is no longer with her, and Edward decides to suicide, which is just a crappy decision. So I don't know what to say. Is there anything good about this book? Do you have any of your favorites? Comment down below.